What's up, guys? Today I figured I'd do a little video and explain if you wanted to put a circuit breaker in a B&K 747 to make it a 747B in case you have one. I figured I'd do a video and try and explain how it's wired in. So the link will be in the description for this site, which is called garage1217.com, and it's under manuals. And I find it easier just to watch a video. It makes it a lot more simple. I have an original breaker in mine, but to trace the wires, I thought taking pictures and making notations with arrows would be a lot more easy. Here's the part number right here. It starts with the W here, and if we go over to Mauser, the part's $3.17, and this is what it looks like. It looks a little different than the original, and the original is actually called an overload reset button. And what this does, it replaces the 5 amp Slo-blo pigtail fuse, which was underneath the main board, and it's pretty much of a pain in the ass to get to. So this, if you want to upgrade your 747, you know, this is a good way to do it, and I'm going to attempt to explain it. Right here is my picture. This is the heater switch that sets your filament voltage. This is your transformer, and then over here are your levers, and over to here, we're looking at this upside down, your sockets. And then you have a board here, which has your 2 potentiometers to do the calibration. So this upper leg here, there's a brown wire that runs over to your heater switch. This pin right here, and I'll give you a better shot of it, is where that brown wire connects to. And we'll take a look at the schematic too to break it down and show you where that's connected. So this brown wire goes to the heater switch. This brown wire also has this white wire here that runs over this board. The brown wire runs off to socket 17 and is soldered to pin 2. We'll take a look at that on the schematic as well. So under the main board, this is just reference number 55 bulb right here, and then that white wire is coming over this board with the potentiometers. You can barely see it. It says white wire from circuit breaker, and it is connected down here. Right here is a small piece of the schematic. I'll give you a bigger shot of that. But anyway, that white wire that's coming over the board comes down and connects into this resistor, which connects into the base of the transistor. Now, between the collector and the base of the transistor, there is a diode that you cannot see. It's bent down behind my board here. And then from there, we get over to the emitter that jumps over here. And you can barely see the resistor, and that connects over here. There is a glimpse of another diode that is connected from the emitter over to, this is an incandescent lamp, and you can switch this out to an LED. So let's take a look. Actually, let's go back to Garage, and you can see more what I'm talking about. So this is the top leg, and that goes over right to this pin here, and then you can see where the 2 potentiometers are, and the one with the heat shrink, that's where the brown wire is connected next to. So heat shrink, this pin, and then the top pin, or top leg of the circuit breaker. Getting over to the schematic here, this is what's going to really break it down. So I reached out to B&K Precision, and the link will be in the description as well for the schematic and parts list for the 747B. Again, the only difference between the 747 and the 747B is this circuit breaker, which you can see right here. So this is the heater switch that sets the voltage. You're connecting to pin 3, which comes down, and this goes into the lamp or LED, and then it goes into a diode, and then the resistor, and then the emitter, the emitter, and then the collector comes out and goes into that other diode, and the base and that one resistor connects into here, and then this part goes back up into the circuit breaker. Now this circuit breaker, if we go to the right here and we follow it downward, you can see it ties into there. But if we go further to the right here, and then we follow it down, and it comes across, and now if we follow this upward, you're going to come to socket 17. So that comes up, there's a junction point here, and it comes over. I'm going to blow this up. Alright, so here's that junction point, and then it comes over, and you can see it's connected to pin 2. Here's 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, 5, 6, and it looks to be 7, and I don't know if that's an 8 or a 0. But anyway, that's where you're connecting into. So that's this circuit right here. Now the other thing I do want to touch on is when I got this tester, this pigtail fuse is actually a 1/2 amp 250 volt Slo-blo. I thought it was supposed to be a 5 amp. It's not. So whoever did this did a conversion. I don't know if B&K did it. I highly doubt they did, because this fuse was purposely blown. They used this parallel connection, and this is a 3/4 amp 250 volt. It's actually supposed to be 3/10 of an amp 250 volt Slo-blo. I had to replace that. This fuse is blown, so it doesn't make connection. It's just there to support this, and I'm not gonna mess around with that, because if a fuse, blows, it's just easier to pull this out. And conversion from 3/10 of an amp is 0.300 milliamps. You want to keep in mind when you're buying these that, some people might have modified them. This is just another picture from the side view of mine, and then this is another picture of somebody else's, and they have a fuse up here. What amp, what volt, I don't know. The other thing that you're going to want to make sure is that your neon bulb, which one of my testers did not come with. And there's some debate as it to being an NE-1 to an NE-2, and there is several different versions of that. Some people say the 5GA works fine. Someone said it did not. That converts over to an NE-68. Gonna bring me over to this fucking asshole, and he's showing 58.4 volts. It's supposed to be for the B&K, the Hickok, and you can read. But anyway, I don't believe he has new old stock. I believe he knows the new ones, because these haven't been made in 50 fucking years. And he blocked me from fucking buying them just because I didn't buy his overpriced emissions tester. And maybe he's seen my video. And if he did, and if you're watching this, you know what? You can kiss my ass 7 different ways from Sunday. Either way, I'm going to find this out. Either way, I'm going to get them. And that's that. So you could go fuck yourself if you're watching this. He does mention down here, like a fucking grown-ass spoiled baby. He says, I show an actual firing voltage. This is important in a tube tester short indicator, which he is correct. But he's a big fucking baby. That bulb looks like that. Don't be fooled. This looks like a T2 because it's shorter. The T3s are actually longer. What's in the B&K is the T2. But again, the firing voltages is what matters. So that's gonna basically wrap it up. Hopefully you'll have a better understanding on how to wire one of these in. If anybody knows, what this bulb is, let me know, because I'd like to, buy a couple more and have them on hand and, not deal with some fucking child that, takes their ball and goes home because I didn't pay their overpriced shit. So to everybody else, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hopefully the world turns around instead of dealing with a bunch of assholes and, having it worse than things were.